Hello friends, welcome back. So when we navigate to one of the article pages on the blog, we want our front end to automatically query the server and display the comments that the article has. So the first thing we have to do is we need to add state to our component. So currently our component do not have any state. Our component do not have any form of memory. It simply returns some JSX depending on the props that we pass into them. State gives us a place where we can temporarily store our information. For example, information that we loaded from our server. To add state to our component, we will use one of the React hook, which is called useState. So inside the client folder and inside the source folder, we have a pages folder. In that, you need to open article.js. I have already opened the file, and here we need to import useState. So comma curly braces useState. Okay, let's save this file. And then here we need to take a const. Inside the array we will take an variable, so article info, and the setter function will be set article info. Okay, that is equal to use state, and inside we will take a object, and then we can take a property called comments. Okay, that will be an empty array. Let's save this file. So this article info has a property comments, which is having an initial value of empty array. So now how to make a request to the backend to load our article info. To do that, we need to use another React hook, which is called use effect. So let's import use effect. So comma and use effect. Okay, let's save this. Let's see how use effect work. So here I'll take use effect, and inside we will take an anonymous function. So that will be an arrow function. So this use effect runs every time when the component loads, or you can say when the component is mounted. So here I'll say console log, and here we can say component mounted. Okay, let's save this file. And before I run this file, we need to do some setup inside the package.json, which is in the root directory. Okay, so not inside client directory, the package.json, which is inside root directory. So let's open that. So our root directory is MERN-blog. Inside we have a package.json file. Here we need to add some script. Okay, so the first one is the server script. Here we need to add server. Okay, so after node MERN, we need to add server, then a comma, and then the second script will be client. Okay, so here I'll say npm start. It means the client will start, and then we need to use hyphen hyphen prefix space client, because I want to run from the client directory. And the another script we want is dev. So let's add a comma, then here I'll say dev, and inside this I will be using concurrently. So concurrently, so this will help us to run both the server and the client at the same time, and we need to escape the inner double quotes. So here I will write slash, okay, sorry, a backslash, and then double quotes, and here I'll say npm run server. Okay, and then I need a slash, okay, backslash. Then after the double quotes I will take a backslash, then double quotes, and here I'll say npm run client, and a backslash, and then double quotes, and let's save this file. Okay, so this is how you need to write the script. And now inside the clients folder we need to go to package.json. So let's open that, and here after this line of code we need to add proxy. So proxy, that is going to be http colon slash slash localhost colon 8000, and let's close the double quotes and then a comma. Okay, let's save this. So this way it will not give us course policy error while fetching the data. So now let's close this file, close this file as well. Let's go to terminal. So control and backtick key, and now inside the root directory, so I'll do cd dot dot. Okay, let's clear this. So now I am inside the root directory. I will say npm run dev. Okay, hit enter. So now both the things, the front end and back end, will run together. So as you can see, server started at port 8000, Now our front end will also run. Okay, so let's go to articles, go to learn node. Okay, and now if I go to console, okay, inspect, and if I go to console, as you can see, it says component mounted. So whenever you reload this component, it will always say component mounted. Okay, whenever you reload or refresh this component, this learn node, it will say component mounted. The reason it happens because whenever you load this use effect run. Okay, now we need to load data from the server. So let's go to VS Code. So let's close this file. So since the code that we are using to fetch the data involves asynchronous fetching operation, which will be using async and await keyword inside the use effect. The only problem here is that use effect does not allow the function that we pass here to be async. So for example, if you do like async here, so it will not work. So let me remove this. So to use async await, we need to define async function inside the use effect. So here we need to take a variable const, and the name of the variable I'll take it as fetch data equals to. Now we can use async. Okay, async, and this will be an arrow function. And let's remove this console log. We don't require this. And now inside this body, I'll say const result, that is equal to await fetch, and then we need to give the URL. So backtick key slash API slash articles slash dollar and the name. Okay, then after this I'll say const body equals to await, and here I'll say result. Okay, dot JSON. Then we need to use this setter function. So set article info, and here inside we will pass the body. Okay, after this functionality we will fetch the data. We will call fetch data. So fetch data, we need to run this function. Let's save this file. And one more thing, we need the use effect to only run when the URL parameter changes. So here I'll take a array. Okay, and inside I'll pass name. Okay, so once the URL parameter changes, this use effect will run. Let's save this file, and I'll just console log body. So console dot log body. Okay, let's save this, and let's go to the browser. Okay, let me clear this out, and let's refresh the page. So it's console log body, right? Let me refresh it again. So we are not getting anything. So here, as you can see, we got a message error connecting to database. Okay, so my database is not running. So let's go VS Code, open the terminal, and in the bin folder we need to run this command. So /MongoDB. This is for Mac and Linux. For Windows I have already showed you the path. Okay, so let me hit enter, and it will say waiting for connection. Here it says waiting for connection, so now it should work. Okay, so let me clear this, refresh it again. Now as you can see, we are getting this ID and the comments. Okay, so the username is me and the text is I love this post. So yes, this is working perfectly fine. So let me close this terminal. So this is it for this video, and in the next video we will see how to display this comment on the article. So see you in the next video. Till then, take care and bye bye.